between the past to the present, our next artist gives a voice to the woman of today while looking like the woman of yesterday. Please allow me to introduce you to Dark Dahlia. Born Christina Maria Sullivan, this vocal powerhouse journeyed to the path, collecting inspiration from the iconic woman in classical pop culture. While on this journey, she found her path to success, and with that, a new persona, the Dark Dahlia.
About a year ago, I started doing pin-up modeling and got really into vintage culture, retro culture, which I've always been really into. Especially like Lucille Ball and then like more modern icons like Dita Von Teese. And then when I started doing music, I just felt like I needed to incorporate that side of myself into it. And it also goes along with my voice. So it was just a fun combination of the two of them.
So why is it that you admire these classical icons?
Well, I feel like that they represent beauty in a form that really isn't celebrated anymore, as far as they were real women. Their bodies were not stick thin, as I'm not either. They knew how to dress appropriately for every occasion, but especially glamorous occasions.
From New Jersey to the Big Apple, Dahlia was driven to follow her dreams in music. But on the path to the stage, she found her way to the silver screen.
I went to a conservatory. But there, it was a completely different experience than what I expected. So I thought it was going to be more vocal performance, but it was all theater. And then I got interested in film, so I started doing extra work just because I was like, why not start somewhere? And I actually started doing well in it. And I quit my job. I was working retail, and I quit my job. And then I started doing film, so I've been doing that. So I started to see this trend that everything that I was getting cast in was period. So I was getting cast in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. So I'm like, well, this is interesting. You know, why is it that this is where I'm working?
While on a film set, Dahlia discovered her voice and made her way back to her first love, music.
So I just reached out to someone that I met on set once who was a sound engineer. And I said, you know, do you mind if I do a cover video with you? Very like casual. And then he said yes. So I did this cover video with him. And then it just sort of snowballed. He just said, well, why don't you just write an original? I'm like, no, you know, I can't. Like this whole thing, you know, I went through. Then finally he just gave me a blank track and said, write to this. And he's like, well, I think you can write. And I'm like, oh, I guess I can. And it was that simple. It was like overnight. I was just like, oh, yeah, I guess I can. About to get my transformation on, knowing that I need these drinks, this company to carry on. Lighting up a bogue, I feel the smoke begin to heal myself. Suddenly I trust myself, feel the one that lost myself. Johnny, standing by me, all my worries leave my body. Taste the moment, tasting freedom, no more boundaries, I'm euphoric.
As we came to the end, I couldn't resist getting some personal classical style tips from the Dark Dahlia herself. Let's talk about your shoes.
Okay, yeah.
I love them.
Thank you. They're from Spain. My mom is from Spain. So I'm half Spanish from Galicia. And I was there maybe 3 years ago, and I saw these in a little village, actually, like, because they actually still have villages there. And I saw them when we left, and then 2 days later, I came back looking for them, and they were like in the back room.
So you told me about the bracelets that you've been wearing them since you were a child.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, like 11 or 12 years old, I used to get in trouble for wearing these all the time. If you ask any of my friends, I'm like the lady in black, like, you know, I'm just, I don't know, out of the Matrix or something. Yeah, I just always wear a lot of black, so they coordinate basically with everything I wear.
Much like the artist she has looked up to as a child, Dark Dahlia has become a true classic talent. This is a novelista for
Harmonist Beats. No fears to face, no wicked face.